So you have just installed and entered Warhammer Online. First of all then, welcome to Return of Reckoning, and here I'll guide you through step by step what you need to know as a new player to get started and have a smooth beginning. For more guides and tutorials in Return of Reckoning, do make sure to check the rest of the channel as there's a lot of content coming soon. To start then, the very first thing you need to choose is the career or class you would like to play as, but I wouldn't spend way too much time researching any of it yet. Maybe in another video I will explain everything, but here the general recommendation is to just try everything anyway and level them up to a certain point, let's say level 20, to get a feel for them. The careers and their mechanics are fairly unique in ROR, so it's better to experience them firsthand, and with that said, for this video, let's just choose then a Goblin Shaman, shall we? As we enter the world, the very first thing to notice is that in Warhammer Online you will have two separate levels to deal with, your career rank and your Renown rank. While there is a good chunk of PvE content and dungeons, this MMO is heavily centered around PvP, and your Renown rank is your exclusive PvP level that you will have to progress with and keep maximized, while career rank is essentially your character level. For context, the maximum character level you can reach will be level 40, and while PvP rank doesn't really have a maximum to reach, the current final rewards you want to pursue will be at Renown rank 80, which is a long road away, so buckle up. A very unique and fun aspect of Warhammer Online is that you can level up by playing any content in the game, even only fighting other players, but you can only increase your Renown by participating in PvP, which is vital to your progression, and I will explain why later. Now, if you'd like to begin your journey with questing, it is very standard MMO experience, and you can just begin exploring the starting areas, complete quests, and enjoy the rich atmospheric world of Warhammer. There will be several huge zones of quests, chain quests, and even dungeons as early as level 9 that you can enjoy and complete with your fellow players. Perhaps the only explanation required here are public quests, which are a form of dynamic events you can encounter in set places in the world. If you play Guild Wars 2, it is very similar to that. These are set quests that will start automatically for any player that runs nearby and usually follow a short story of an event happening there. They are called public quests as any player can join right in and you all contribute to its completion at the same time, even without being in a party together, then get rewarded at the very end based on your personal contribution towards achieving victory. Pretty neat, right? Now let's say you don't care about any of this questing and PvE, and you would just like to jump straight into action with other players. Well, you can do that, but it will need a little bit of tinkering as a first-time player. First, press Escape and enter Key Mappings, where you will want to look in the Windows section for an entry called War Report Window. Here it is, so just bind it to a key for now, it really doesn't matter which one. The reason we need to do this is that the game first wants you to level up a bit to get used to the game, so this window is usually locked until level 5 or so, but you can still use it this way anyhow. This War Report button will eventually appear next to your minimap just for reference. So pressing your chosen War Report key will show the current status of the warfront across the entire server and allows you to travel to these locations right away and start some PvP. It is this simple. If you fancy checking out all the battlefields in the game, you can always open your world map with M and see just how massive the world is, and also see all the different PvP zones marked with a red border around them on the map. Back to the War Report, currently it seems the hotspot for tier 1 at our level is in Nordland, so let's teleport there. Here we are at Nordland RVR War Camp. Feel free to explore around and see what's what, but if you'd like to see other locations or war camps, you can also talk with a nearby flight master to travel elsewhere or join different warfronts. Now the only thing that remains here though is going in and bashing some enemy skulls. But if you do that alone, you will likely just get crushed, so it is highly recommended to first look for a group and allies to play with. Don't worry though, if you're not exactly the social type, you can still just press your L key on your keyboard or the Parties and Warbands button on the top of the screen and look for an open party to join. Try to always be a member of a warband if you are in the RVR zones, and not only will you have a much better time playing the game, but you will also level up much faster. Now that's pretty much it about getting straight into the action, but before I would move on to the next section, if you're annoyed by the large list of war reports on your screen, you can always switch the state of the realm off by clicking on the red castle icon on your minimap. Just use it whenever you're looking for information or where the warfronts are, but I will go deeper into RVR mechanics in another video in the future. As you keep playing Warhammer Online and start leveling, you will notice that new abilities will be automatically added to your hotbars, so training here is not required. Learning all your abilities will be done automatically. Instead, what you should keep track of is your earlier mentioned PvP rank or Renown rank. As you start increasing your Renown rank through PvP, you will also be able to visit Renown trainers usually found in war camps, indicated by a big target practice icon. At Renown trainers, you will be able to spend your Renown rank points for free and earn bonus attributes and skills to create your own unique build. Don't worry about immediately choosing the best options, as you can always reset these points if you'd like anytime. Now that we have our abilities settled, what about equipping some better weapons and armor? Looking around the war camps, you will also encounter multiple quartermasters and merchants who supply you with items specifically designed for PvP, whereas if you choose questing for leveling, similar merchants will be found in camps and other cities. Merchants will be selling you various items for money, but quartermasters are special as they give you better quality items in exchange for so-called war crests, which are a special currency you earn for all the different activities you do while PvPing, like killing enemy players, capturing battle objectives, winning a zone, or even capturing castles. These war crests are vital to your progression and are the single most important currency in Warhammer Online by far, so make sure you always get them whenever and from wherever possible. In fact, while fighting, you will also notice war crests pop up in your loot roll windows, which might get annoying very fast. For this, I recommend entering the Parties and Warbands window again, but this time click on the Auto Roll tab on the top right of the window. Here you're able to customize the ability to auto roll in certain items, so you don't have to keep clicking on them and potentially miss anything. For war crests, this just means selecting the need option under the very rare column in the currency row. Now if that's done, this should be more than enough to get you started with items, but I will also release an in-depth guide regarding weapons and armor and the general gearing system very soon, so stay tuned. Finally, the last thing I want to mention in this video are scenarios. If you prefer smaller scale and more organized battles, then scenarios are the equivalent of battlegrounds from other MMOs, and you're able to enter them from anywhere by pressing this special war icon on your minimap. Here you can select to join all the currently active scenarios and maps, and there's also an option for the so-called Discordant Queue, which is a special mode for joining scenarios as a solo player without a group. The maps available rotate on a weekly basis, so you will notice the scenario maps constantly changing to keep the game fun and engaging. Once your queue pops, you will be dropped into a battle where the general gameplay on most of the maps will be Capture the Zone, where you will have to capture and hold certain locations on the map to increase your team's score towards victory, where the first side that reaches 500 points will win the scenario. These battles will feel very hectic at the beginning, but it is vital for players to work together to increase your chances at winning, and one of the easiest ways to do that is making sure every party has a so-called 2-2-2 setup, meaning 2 tanks, 2 DPS players, and 2 healers. If you're a tank, for instance, without a DPS in your party or vice versa, then you're able to click the gray flag next to your minimap and join another scenario party if there's space in it, in order to create more competitive parties. Why is this so important, you ask? It's because tanks, healers, and DPS complement each other in Warhammer Online in a very unique and special way through unique abilities like the tank's guard, for instance, that can reduce the incoming damage of any other player by 50%. I will go more in depth about this topic in my most important skills in Warhammer Online video. Work together with your teams, communicate, damage, and focus the same targets together, and you will have a much better chance at winning your games and have more fun in scenarios. Now, that's the end of my quick getting started guide I wanted to create. The aim was to show you the most vital parts of getting started with the game, but also not to overwhelm you at the same time too much, which I hope I did a good job at. For more in-depth yet still beginner stuff, I will be making those other tutorials I mentioned during the video, and by the time you watch this, who knows, they might already be out, so stay tuned with the channel. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Welcome to Return of Reckoning again. Hope you will have a fantastic time with the game, and if you're looking for more information and content for it, like and subscribe and I'll have you covered. But I also cannot recommend enough visiting the Warcamp website that's also linked below and was shown earlier in the video, as this fantastic site will have written guides for almost anything you'll want to know about Warhammer Online. But for now, cheers everyone, and I'll see you the next time.